just imagine that you've got an amazing opportunity of spending hours and hours and hours, years and years and years, talking to the top grandmasters on the planet, the best chess trainers, the top psychologists, and those people who've made rapid improvement. And you put all of that knowledge into one book. That's what Ben Johnson's done. I read this book over the Christmas period over about 2 or 3 days. It is absolutely fantastic. So I'm going to give you my review of the book. I will give the rating of the book at the end of the video. But first of all, I'm going to discuss what's in the book. So Ben Johnson starts off with an introduction chapter, like a very, very brief introduction. So if people don't know, they've not listened to the podcast before, he talks about the podcast, the origins of the podcast, and who he is, and a little bit about himself. The book is made up of 5 different sections, and in the first section, he calls it the 4 pillars of chess improvement. And this section deals with the 4 things that every single person who he's ever interviewed on the podcast agrees upon what you need to do to improve in chess. I'll tell you what those are in a minute. I'm just going to talk about the rest of the book. The rest of the book consists of absolutely everything you can think of in terms of chess. It's incredible, right? For example, and he talks about the more contentious issues a little bit in the second section. So things like, blitz chess. Is it good for your overall improvement? Do amateurs study openings too much? Like how to go about dealing with master games? Do you need to know endgames? To what extent and to what sort of levels do you need to do that? Different approaches to tactics study and calculation study, and Chessable's in there, and books. So books versus Chessable basically talks about that. And then in the third section, it talks about all other types of areas of chess. Checklists are in there even. Number 32. Do my bishops wear pointy hats? Right? Habits, identities, rating plateaus. You've got tips for playing against children. Much needed if you play in tournaments with a lot of kids in. He talks about other areas like rest and mindfulness and exercise. What else have we got? And then part 4 deals with the actual tools for chess improvement. So chess books, how to use them, how to use different chess sites like Chessable and chess.com and Chess. How to get the most of those. And talks about engines and YouTubers and book recommendations. Even I'm in there, right? It's got everything in this book. It's incredible. So 4 pillars of chess improvement. The first part, the 4 things that he says everybody agrees upon, has been in his show, are these. So tournament games and their substitutes, game analysis, calculation and pattern recognition, and coaches, chess friends and mentors. So basically what he's saying, the 4 things you absolutely have to do to improve at chess is go out there, play quality chess games, over the board tournaments if you can. If you can't do that, if you don't live in an area where you can join a chess club or playing tournaments, then you can sort of make do with online tournaments and things like that. But tournament chess, he says, serious tournament chess is where you make improvement. And then you must analyze those games for mistakes and do that effectively. You must study tactics to some degree in different types of tactics, but tactical study. And you must have some sort of support network, and you can't really do this thing alone. So that's play chess, analyze them, tactics, and then support network. So overall then, do I recommend this book? Absolutely, right? I thought, I don't really need this book. I'm interested in this book. I'm going to go buy it because I'm interested in, Ben Johnson's opinion. He's sat there listening to hundreds of the world's best players and not really giving his own opinion on things. And I wanted to hear Ben Johnson's opinion because, he's a person who's probably interviewed more chess people than anybody else on the planet. So yeah, I wanted to know his opinion on it. And his opinion on things like blitz chess and openings and endgames and things like that. And he is very balanced. He sits on the fence a little bit, but he does share his opinions in this book. But I think the reason he does sit on the fence is because, as he's discovered, lots of people make improvements in different ways. Right, for example, so he has come across players who really, really love the opening and focuses on the opening and make improvements. And then he's met people like who hate the opening and focuses on tactics, and they all kind of get there in their own methods. So it's not necessarily a right and a wrong way, and I think that comes across in the book, but he does also give his own opinions, in places as well. Each chapter is beautifully sectioned off with a summary at the end of it. And what is amazing about this book, and every chess player, I believe, should actually own this book, is that it consists of like 240 pages. And like I said, I read this in 2 or 3 days, right? And there's stuff in there that has made me change my mind, on certain aspects of chess. So that's incredible. And do I recommend this book? Absolutely. Everybody should read this book if you are into chess or chess improvement. So one thing you might be interested in is choosing your own openings, right? And if you do want to choose your own openings, your own opening repertoire, I really recommend David Norwood's advice. I'll put the video there. 5 things you need to do before choosing a chess opening. I think his methods are absolutely fantastic. So if you've not seen that video, have a look at that video. And yeah, do I recommend Ben Johnson's book? Absolutely. 5 stars. Good job, pal. Absolutely brilliant.